Sing the Market Speculator with the trade report for Monday, July 31st, 2017. Big week this week. One, because I think the markets are set up to go in either direction. We don't know which yet. A lot of factors could come into play. The volume patterns in all of the indexes negative, so that's not a good thing. But price action is coming off highs, and you never know which way it's going to go here. So we're going to go into the week market neutral. But what I really like about this week is about half the stocks that we're watching on our focus lists have already reported earnings, so we don't have to worry about earnings dates, and we can just start trading them post-earnings type of setups. I've got a bunch of them we're watching this week. First, let's go ahead and look at the indexes. We'll go over the entry from yesterday or Friday in FSLR. And then go through the focus list here. And we're also in Netflix right now. SPY pulling back here, as did the rest of the indexes, off highs. So price pattern-wise, very good. Breakout here. We've got, if you look at past measured moves, we still have some room to run here. So if we do hold, you can see this blue line is pre-market. So we're set to open. We're about 50 minutes away, set to open. In the plus side, we'll see if that can continue. If we break the highs here, maybe we start to run. IWM also pulled back under its 9, so a little more concerning. And then the Qs, slight pullback here, but holding that 9 and then set to pop. So looking pretty good after this ugly day right in here. But volume pattern of all of them, the volume pattern is the worst in the Qs. So we're going to watch that very closely. We've had mixed results in earnings, about 50-50 in terms of big techs and focus list earning tech stocks that we watch in terms of breakouts or breakdowns post earnings. And some of those breakdowns might actually be better trades as overreaction. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Friday's entry, FSLR, I decided to enter on the day of the breakout rather than waiting for a pattern like we normally do. The idea behind that is, one, solars is one of the hottest sectors in the market, and earnings confirm that. And we've got some short interest in here. Maybe that could lead to a little bit of a pop. So I was willing to make a little bet here on the day of earnings. Stop is going to be 3 to 4 points. We want to allow it to pull back and test this gap range here without getting stopped out. So I want to be able to hold. Maybe we have to hold this for a while, or maybe if it pops right away, I'll look to 51, 52, 53, 54, somewhere in there to take the quick profit. So that's the idea behind FSLR. And we have our post-earnings breakout Netflix trade that we're still holding. We entered this one on Thursday, basically getting value here as it tested and held the 9, not having to get in up here at 190. We got in here around 183.84. I don't remember the exact point here, and we're using a loose stop, allowing it to test the bottom range if it pulls back more. I don't want to get shaken out of this one. So we're going to allow this thing to play out. Maybe it runs right here and we get the nice win, and we'll go for a win up to 200. So basically I'm risking about 8 to 10 points here with the potential for 17, 18, 19 points. And we've got that round number 200 coming up, which it could float to. So that's the idea behind the 2 positions we're in. We've taken a lot of profits, a couple of stop outs, done pretty well here. Let's go to some of the indexes now. So IBB, or some of the ETFs. IBB, we took profits last week. Looks like potentially could pop over the 9 here. So we're going to keep an eye out on biotech. Could be an entry this week if it continues. Energy and oil, we've been shaken out once and it started to pop now. It was up big this weekend, but has come back in pre-market here. A little extended. We'll wait for a pullback and see if we get any opportunities there. Financials had popped here to highs, but now pulling back. And if it can remount the 9, which would hold this gap fill here, we could potentially enter there. And then semiconductors actually lagging the Qs a little bit. So I think out, and then gold here has been like safety here. We've seen a little pop, so we'll keep an eye on that. But the 2 sectors I'm watching very closely are biotech and financial. So we'll keep an eye on those ETF for potential trades. And then the focus list, the FANG stocks, Facebook, good earnings reaction. We're going to watch for this consolidation, either a pullback hold or a break of the high. One of those 2 things would get us in. We are already in Netflix. watching Google as a gap down reversal, kind of an overreaction to what were good earnings. So if it gets back up into the gap here, we're going to watch 975 very closely. We're at 958 right now. If it breaks into 975, it's almost a given that I will be in that trade. Amazon, same thing, although we only have 1 day here. If it gets up over the 9, I will look to get in. So we're going to watch these gap down overreactions very closely. Other stocks on the list, NVIDIA reports, I believe, on the 10th. So we've got about 10 days here, which would equate to, I don't know how many trading days, but maybe we get a little pop here going into earnings like we tried to play with Tesla, didn't work out. But if it gets up over the 9, maybe we take a shot there. So we've got some potentially good opportunities here in Snap. If it gets up over the 9, we'll start to watch this really beaten down, but I would not touch this unless it really gives you some good clues. So some focus of stocks here. Let's look at post-earnings breakouts that are potential trades. SRPT holding the 9, DWCH holding its 9, Pets testing its 9, and 9 becomes key on a lot of these setups here. X broke, it was a good earnings reaction, but has now broke down. So we're going to watch this very closely. This was actually a short trigger on Friday, but if it does remount, we could go long. But we'll keep an eye on that. The other metal here, FCX, much better holding. I'm going to watch this as a high tight flag and look for a break of 15. IRBT consolidating here. I'll watch for a break of the high. It's another high tight flag. And then 2 breakdown plays to add to Amazon and Google. Lowe's broke down and has filled the gap. Technically, we have the entry here. So watch this one very closely. And HD as well has not gotten all the way back up, but if it breaks a 9 here, we could see a move to maybe 152, 153. So that's what we're watching to start the week. As the week progresses, we'll get a better idea of what the market is telling us. We're market neutral right now, and we'll take the trades as they come.